ask you, I was talking to Saturday night, saw Hogan dissecting USC, a lot of underneath stuff that he was hitting. He didn't do that against us. Have we really emphasized those underneath routes, and you guys, especially the linebackers, trying to shut those off?
Well, I would say we're taught to do our job, but the credit really goes to our front four guys. It don't matter if it's a deep ball or short ball. When you have guys like Deontay and a fighter that can get off the ball, it's going to help no matter what the situation is.
Drew, Fitz has thrown the word dominant around the first few weeks to describe certain guys and defenses and the defense as a whole as well. I mean, what are you guys doing different from last year, or is it just all kind of clicking into place this year?
I think people are we're holding ourselves more accountable, and we're not getting complacent. And I think a lot of it comes from being tired of not winning when we know we had the chance to, and not performing well when we know we have the talent to. And I think a lot of guys just fed up with not fulfilling their potential. That's really basically it. It's that mindset that we know we can. We have some guys that can make some big plays, and now it's about doing it.
Dan, what do you think you guys can do better in terms, particularly on first and second down, to avoid some of those third and long situations that are tough?
Well, I think we gotta keep moving the football, man. I mean, I think we gotta execute consistently. That's the biggest thing. We have a lot of one-man breakdowns. You can't do that on offense. You got 10 guys doing their job and one guy butchering it. You're not going to have any success on offense. So I think if we execute consistently as one solid unit, we'll be able to do some good things.
About this a bit in your answer to the first question, but how much does having guys like Dean Lowry and Deontay Gibson and some of the defensive tackles how much does that open up, like, playmaking opportunities for you, especially in the run game?
It opens up a lot because those guys demand a lot of respect. So when you have those guys that have to be double teamed, it helps free up a lot of linebackers and lanes where we can get triggered and get the ball.
Danny, did you guys hear? Were you guys sitting back there when Fitz was talking?
For some of it, yeah.
Did you hear him talk about how you guys pretty much sucked in October, and now you start going to class and your routines change?
Mm-hmm.
Have you, as one of the leaders, talked to the team about that, and have you stressed it, brought up a different approach this year to get over that?
I think the biggest thing is, we have obviously we talked about it today in our team meeting. I'm sure it'll go on as we go on here throughout this week. But the biggest thing is you got to be able to focus on both things, football and school. I personally think it helps me out because it's more structured. Where you got to be, when you got to be there. For film or class or whatever it is, it helps me out. So as long as we just eliminate all outside distractions and just do what we're supposed to do your job, we should have some success and continue on the path that we've been on.
Fitz said you had 4 of your 5 blocks produce big plays. You like blocking better or catching better?
For me, it doesn't matter. I like being able to do both. I think that's the beauty of the job that I have is, whatever coach tells me to do, I'm just going to go do it to the best of my ability. And, I've been happy with how I've been playing lately. Just got to keep it up and, get the rest of the guys going. I think I need to keep stepping it up as a leader out there and, make our offense better as a whole.
Fitz was saying that you started taking great pride in your work on the special teams last year. What kind of mentality do you have to play special teams?
I believe you have to get in the film room, just study the other team that you're playing that week, and just going out there and just having fun. Special teams, you just go out there and just try to do what you got to do to make plays. Once you make plays, you get out there and just have fun, basically, pretty much.
You guys moved up in the polls to number 17. It's a nice acknowledgement, I guess. And you realize that you're not going to sneak up on anybody, and it's sort of a motivation for the opposition to give their best effort to say that they perhaps could knock you guys off, right? Mm-hmm. So what sort of precautions and what kind of advice would you give your teammates as far as dealing with that?
I would say the biggest thing is, don't even look at any of this. No offense to you guys. Don't look at anything in the media. Don't read anything. Don't believe anything anybody says about you. You know, it's all about us. It's all about what we can do as a team. So I think that's something we've done really well. And, you know, from a maturity standpoint, I think we're much more a mature football team than we have been the last couple of years. You know, so just taking it to that next level and understanding that we'll be able to do some good things together and just keeping it all about us.
Dan, as one of the older guys in the locker room, did you say anything to Clayton, either during the game or after the game, kind of get his spirits back up?
Yeah, I think just letting him know that we all trust him to make plays, and like you know, I think you guys were all in here when Coach Fitz said it. You know, he was pretty calm when we went in at halftime. He knows what he has to do. Yeah, he might have been flustered, but you know, there's not a single football player in the entire country in the whole world that's never had a bad game before. So you know, I think he's ready to bounce back. He's ready to respond, and I'm not worried about him. I don't think anybody on our team is. So I expect some really great things from him this week.
Drew, Anthony keeps racking up the tackles and racking up the honors. And what's it like being out there with him, and what's he like on the field?
I'm proud of him. You know, I just took him under my wing when he first got here. And, like, it's just like seeing my little brother do well, and you always want to see him succeed. So it's really with anybody that plays well, just happy for him because being on the defensive side of the ball, as long as we make the play, you don't care who it is. So if Keith comes in, when he comes in on nickel and dime, even when I'm off the field, when he makes a play like he forced a fumble this past Saturday, like I was excited to see that.
Drew, Anthony had talked about it, Fitz had talked about it, as well as the defense is playing, that you said there's still a long way to go, a lot of things that you guys can do better. What do you think some of those things are?
Sometimes it's fits and technical and communication, just basically making sure we are all on the same page. There's a few times where communication is not where it needs to be, and that can create problems, but that's the main part, just sharpening up our fundamentals, and that's basically what he's talking about, getting at.
On Saturday, well, I guess last year, special teams were kind of a weakness at points. Had the big kickoff return by Vault that put you guys in the lead. So I guess I wonder, like, what part of your identity, or the team's identity, is special teams now? And what was the reaction from you guys during the game when that happened?
We knew Duke was a pretty good special teams team, and Coach Fitz kept telling us that all week. And now the way we played on Saturday, doing special team at all 4 phases or whatever, I think that teams are going to target us for our special teams. We had a big return by Solo, and a lot of key plays by Warren Long and the Pride. Had a fumble recovery on that, and so I know a lot of teams are going to take our special teams very serious now.
Was that motivation for you guys? People talked all week about how great Duke special teams were, and didn't say anything about it.
Yeah, it was a motivation. I think it really was a motivation just to help us, you know, keep pushing ourselves, just to know that we can be great at whatever phase we want to be.
Keith, what's the camaraderie like among the defensive backs this season?
Oh, it's great. I mean, we have guys that push each other. We hold each other accountable for pretty much everything. You show up late to film, show up late to workouts. We do stuff extra. And I think pretty much Travion, he's the leader of our defensive back group, and Nick Van Hoos as well. And they keep pushing us just to become great because we know we have a lot of talent in our DB room. We have a lot of depth. So when we get out there, we just have to ball out and just, like I said earlier, just keep having fun, and we'll have a good season.
Drew and Keith, this could be both of you guys, I guess. But you've now played 2 Power 5 teams. One was sort of like a downhill power offense in Stanford. Another with a spread offense. Which do you think the defense is? Which kind of offense do you think your defense is more built to stop? Or both, I guess. And how does the game planning change when you're playing against different types of offenses?
Well, I think we built to stop both of them, to be honest. And so the game plan really doesn't change. You know, we have what we do inside our system, and we just adjust to what they come out with, and we just execute it.
Dan, you said you guys have all the confidence in the world in Clayton, and what, you know, from the outside, maybe it's more difficult to see the good stuff than the interception and whatever. But what have you guys seen that is the good stuff that makes you have more confidence in him?
Well, he has all the ability in the world. I mean, you can't deny that. You know, we trust him. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he has to do. you know, yeah, Duke was a great defense, and they got to him, but, you know, we know what kind of person he is. He goes against, you know, arguably one of the best defenses in the country every single day of practice, and we've seen how good he is then. So, you know, we know he has the ability to do great things, and we're not worried about that. You know, we just got to keep doing our job and focus on the job ahead of us, and, you know, we'll be fine.